In this month, it is special because we are in a month of the remembrance of our heroes. Today is 25. More 5 days to go. More 5 days to go for us to observe our Heroes Day. And this Heroes Day is coming with exception. It's coming with massive, massive actions. It's coming with very important events, more especially the Sokoto Declaration. So it is something that every one of us is looking up to. And wherever you are, remember that 30th of May is a total lockdown in Biafra land. This is a day we remember our heroes. You don't need to be forced. Nobody needs to push you. All you need to do is to be human. If you are human enough, not just people from the Biafra land, but mainly people from Biafra land, and Igbos in particular, there is no family in that old Southeastern region that they don't lose a person because of the civil war. Nobody. There is nobody that did not lose a family member because of the civil war that lasted 3 years, from 1967 to 1970. And we are remembering them on the 30th. 30th is a total lockdown. It is not just sit at home, it is a lockdown in Biafra land. Try and get everything you need outside before 30th. On 30th, you will sit with your family, pray to our lost heroes, pray for Biafra, pray for our leaders, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, and our Prime Minister, Mazi Ekpa. 30th day is a day you sit at home, in your home, and reflect on where we are coming from, where we are going, and the danger ahead. It is a very important anniversary that is coming, more especially at this point in time. It's a very important one. At this time that Nigeria is on the front line on the global stage, and the world is paying attention to the atrocities of that contraption against the indigenous people. At this time that Nigeria has been proscribed as a country of particular concern, known as a terrorist country, not just because of I said it, but a credible court in Canada said it, that the ruling parties in Nigeria are terrorist organizations. And that information is verifiable. You can't verify it on your own. As we speak, Nigeria is a failed state. So this year, Hero Day celebration on the 30th is going to be exceptional. Prepare yourself. And as you prepare yourself, guide yourself equally. You know that the Fulanis are very fond of attacking on the day we have our remembrance. The Fulanis, the terrorists, are very good at attacking us on the day we have an important program. So you must prepare yourself. In the next 5 days will be 30th of May, the day we will do our Heroes Remembrance Day. Don't lose your guard. No matter what you see, no matter what happens, do not lose your guard. Our enemies are not resting. Our enemies are not relenting. They are ready to fight and fight and fight and put everything on the line. And we need to be prepared as well. We need to be prepared and be ready to put everything on the line, to fight with everything in us to make sure that our voice is heard. The clock is ticking. I appreciate everyone that have been able to observe this very sit at home for almost 5 years. Biafrans are observing it, regardless the temptations, regardless the attack, all the propaganda. mainly in Anambra State. Recently, we saw that Toludo is continuing in his attack against sit-at-home. Soludo recently put a fine on traders, some millions of naira to be paid if you don't open your shop, millions of naira. Soludo is not backing down. He is still making more threats. He has demolished stores, demolished market, and yet people are sitting at home. He has demolished homes. People are sitting at home. Now he's going ahead to put a fine, millions of naira that people have to pay. These are the people who were saying that sit-at-home was enforced. They were crying and saying that Mazi someone was enforcing sit-at-home. But from every indication, it is now clear that nobody is enforcing the sit-at-home, even after almost 2 years that Mazi Simon Ekpa is not in the picture. The situation remains the same. Biafrans sit at home. They have used every kind of force to force Biafrans to come out. Biafrans are sitting at home. There is nobody enforcing it. Just like we have already been saying, nobody enforces it. The only people that is enforcing anything today is the government of the day. Soludo, more especially, forcing people to come out against their will. Forcing people to trade against their will. He has gone to the extent of organizing false flag to persuade the people to come. But the world is watching. The world is watching. I appreciate every Biafran who has stood strong. I know the battle is not easy. It's been a very difficult battle. But at the same time, you've been able to hold yourself and continue to fight on up to this moment. I appreciate every one of you. And I thank you for doing what you have to do and following your heart. So this morning being Monday morning, a day we observe our sit at home, we'll keep the memory alive. It doesn't matter how many people participate in it. It doesn't matter the number that participate, but we must keep that memory alive. Very important. The memory of sit at home must be alive. The topic we are discussing today says, the memory of sit at home, British colonial influence in Nigeria, and the fear of Igbo ingenuity. This is the topic we are going to discuss today as we look into the sit at home. A lot is going on out there. Many you see, many you do not see. There are a lot of propaganda, a lot of blackmails out there. A lot of attack from inside and outside. The Fulanis are not relenting. The British are not letting go. So many things are happening. But in the midst of all this confusion and trial, we must remain focused. You must remain focused. Don't lose your guard. That's why today we still come out to speak. No matter what, even in the most difficult time, even when we need to take a break, we can't afford to take a break because it is very essential to be here. We must keep that memory alive. Remember, we don't come to this platform to instigate violence. We do not come here to preach hate. We don't come here to attack any race or religion. In this platform, we welcome everybody, regardless your location, your race, your religion, your belief, your ideology. You are entitled to your opinion. You are very much entitled to your opinion on this platform. If you have a superior argument, while I'm speaking, you have a superior argument, all you need to do is to send me your request. I will bring you in and you make your point. And the world will listen to you. There are people listening everywhere. People are listening on different social media networks, on YouTube, on Facebook, and on TikTok. So wherever you are, All you need to just send your request. I will click in, you bring other people will hear your voice and you will make your point. And then the people will judge. Once again, I say good morning, great people, lovers of truth, lovers of freedom, lovers of history, and everyone joining us from different parts of the world. I welcome every one of you. Welcome once again to this powerful morning broadcast. Today we are going to discuss a topic, though is emotional, historical, controversial, and deeply important to the millions of people across Nigeria, Africa, and the global Igbo community. In this platform, we discuss those topics they don't want us to talk about. We talk about issues they are hiding. We make sure we bring it to the front line for people to engage and begin to debate about them. That is how to solve problems. Our topic this morning is the memory of Monday sit at home. The British colonial grip on Nigeria through politics and political system, and why Igbo ingenuity is often seen as a threat. This discussion is not about hatred. This discussion is not about violence. I will keep on saying this in all my platforms, on all programs, so that you can understand better. This discussion is about history, memory, political analysis, identity, the importance of understanding where we came from in order to understand where we are going. I encourage everyone listening today to remain respectful in the comment section. Try as much as possible to be respectful in the comment section. Share your thoughts intelligently. History is important because nations that fail to examine their past often struggle to understand their future. That is why Nigeria is in a great confusion today, because they have abandoned history and refuse to look into history. Please like the broadcast as you are watching. Share this live stream everywhere in all your platforms. Share it. Subscribe if you have not done so, and invite others to join this important conversation. Very important. Invite people. Don't watch alone. We need to carry everybody around. Allow those that have questions to ask their questions, regardless what the question might be. Just try and be respectful. Either you send your request or you put down your comment on the comment section, and people of the world that are watching are going to read and they'll hear your own view. For many people across southeast of Nigeria and among supporters of Biafra around the world, Monday sit at home become more than just a weekly action. The Monday sit at home is more than just a weekly action. To many, it evolved into symbol of remembrance. That is what it is. It is a symbol of remembrance, a symbol of protest, a symbol of solidarity, and a symbol of political expression, if you may think. That is what it is. So when you see the politicians fighting it, when you see the Nigerian government fighting it with everything in them, they can even take life to stop it. You begin to ask why. Why are they doing what they are doing? It is because they don't want us to remember. They want to make sure we do not remember who we are. We do not remember our supreme leader, Nnamdi Kanu. They know that the Monday sit at home is a symbol of remembrance. For as long as we continue to remember, they can't hold us down. They also know that it is a protest. They know that it's a protest against the inhuman treatment against the Biafran people and our leaders. They know it's a protest. That is why Soludo and co are fighting it with the help of the Nigerian government. They know it is a solidarity for the cause of Biafra. That is what sit-at-home is. That is why they can't afford to hear about it. They want to crush it by all means. They equally know that sit-at-home is a political expression, very democratical, peaceful way of expressing one's opinion. In a situation where you are dealing with tyrants that can allow you to express yourself, they know sit-at-home is a democratic way of expressing views. You can call it political way of expressing views. They know very well. Very peaceful. And that is why they have decided to demonize it. They created many false flags to demonize it, gave it different kinds of names, made it look violent when it is not. The Nigerian government used the governors in the southeast to make the sit-at-home look violent, but it is not. Has never been. They tell you it's been enforced. They tell you that people are dying. When they talk about enforcement, Mazi Simon have been out of the picture for almost 2 years. The liberation armies have not said anything about or spoken or seen anywhere. And yet, the sit-at-home is going on. Soludo continue to threaten destruction of shops, imposing of fines, millions of dollars, millions of naira. Simply because people air their opinion. Monday sit-at-home become one of the most talked about civil action in modern Nigerian political history. No matter how you look at it, no matter who speaks about it, even an enemy, they know very well that Monday sit-at-home has become one of the most talked about civil action in modern Nigerian political history. You can't change that. Every Monday you see empty road, silent markets, closed schools, quiet cities. Up to this minute as we speak, it speaks volume. The world is watching and they are asking questions. And it confirmed the facts that Nigeria has no legitimacy in Biafra territory. Their politicians have no legitimacy. That the Biafrans have already exited Nigeria spiritually, completely exited. It tells the world Nigeria is an occupation force in Biafra territory. Those images created global attention. Those images you see every Monday create global attention. Every Monday, when you look at Biafra land, what you see represents sacrifice and remembrance. What you see, the deserted street, people sit at home, locked shops, locked businesses, represent sacrifice and remembrance. But to our critics, to the enemies, to the Janjaweed and the Nigerian government politicians, they see that as economic hardship and fear. For those who are castigating the struggle, the enemies of Biafra, they see it as hardship and fear. But for us, who on our own are genuinely pursuing our freedom, it represents sacrifice and remembrance. For the whole world know that freedom doesn't come cheap. In freedom fighting, you must make sacrifice. You must pay a heavy sacrifice, sometimes with your life. That is how important freedom is. In the quest for freedom, sometimes you use your life to pay a price. So freedom doesn't come cheap. What you see in entire Biafra land every Monday is sacrifice and remembrance. But the government always interprets it to be economic hardship and fear. Meanwhile, the people that are imposing economic hardship and fear on the masses is the government itself. The only people we know that is imposing economic hardship and fear on the people is government itself, terrorizing the citizens. As you see them today, collaborating with terrorists. Look at innocent children who have been kidnapped for weeks now in a school, and their teacher beheaded before them. Up to this day, they are still in captivity. And the country is moving on. Go to all their networks, go to all their media, you won't hear about that anymore. What you'll be hearing, the topic we'll be hearing on other media is about the election. They have moved on. They have moved on after school children have been kidnapped, teacher beheaded. They moved on. Go to their media, and no media is reporting it anymore. And those people are still in captivity even as we speak. But these are the people that will come and tell you about sit at home, beat economic hardship and fear. They will tell the people that are sitting at home because of fear. Meanwhile, in the zoological republic itself, the government is terrorizing the people and creating hardship every single day. To observers around the world, it raises serious questions about unresolved political tension inside Nigeria. When you look into Nigeria today, you look into Biafra land, you see deserted places. You look into the situation of Nigeria, the only thing the observers across the world will see is the question about unresolved political tension inside the zoological republic. What made it powerful, the sit at home, was not only the action itself, but the symbolism behind it. This is why we can never allow the memory of sit at home, Monday sit at home, to die. It is very symbolic. Very symbolic. And what made it powerful is not the action itself, but the symbolism behind it. That is why we keep that memory alive. It doesn't matter what they say, what they do. We will keep the memory alive. Many people who are connected to the movement keep the memory of Biafra alive. We will never forget, more especially in this month of May, the Nigerian Civil War, the continuing debate over justice, fairness, representation, and political inclusion. We will keep the memory alive. That is why we can never forget. We will never, this memory will continue to be alive in us. Even when we are gone, our children will keep the memory alive. For many families, memories of civil war never truly disappear. Till date, the pain, the starvation, the displacement, the destruction, those memories survive through stories passed from one generation to another. And that is the important of us coming online every day to educate the Biafra people. And this is why history remains emotional each time it's been told. Because history is not only written in books. History lives inside people. History is not only written in books, it lives inside people. That is why no matter what Nigeria does to wipe away history, we have our history living inside us. And we play it out, we demonstrate it from us. When you look at us, you see the history of Biafra. When you look at us, the Biafran people, the Biafra agitators, those who are genuinely pursuing the freedom of the Biafra people, when you look at us, you see the true picture of Nigeria, what it is. You will see history with your own eyes. You don't need to investigate. It is so sad Now, let us move deeper into history to understand modern Nigeria. Many historians believe we must first understand British colonialism. You can't, no matter how you try to run away from it. You cannot understand what is happening today in Nigeria until you look back, go back to colonial time of the British, to what British have done. Only then and then you can be able to genuinely speak about the situation of Nigeria today and provide solution. Nigeria, as we know it today, was shaped under British colonial administration. Different ethnic nations, different culture, different religion, and kingdoms were merged together under one political structure during colonial rule. These are people that have nothing in common. Nothing whatsoever in common. No resemblance. Not the same religion, not the same food, not the same value system. The famous amalgamation 1914 joined diverse regions into one administrative entity. That was when this evil was created. And that very move that was made have been debated for many decades by scholars. Why? Why would you merge together people that do not have the same value system together? Without their consent, by the way, without their knowledge, you merge them together by force. Was Nigeria created for the benefit of the people or for the administrative and economic convenience of the British Empire? The answer is yes. Nigeria was not created for the indigenous people. Nigeria was not created for any friendship or to create any unity among anybody. No. This question has its answer out there. And this question continues to appear in political discussion today. Colonial governments often use direct rule, indirect rule. They always use indirect rule. And that indirect rule is what they are still using today in the Zoological Republic. More especially at this tenor of the drug baron. You can imagine the British rolling out red carpets for a fraudster, a drug baron, a man who stole election. And these are people who say they respect democratic value. They respect human rights. Yet they rolled out a red carpet for the worst president on the planet Earth today. This is when we say the world is concerned about interest. Nobody wants to protect your rights for you. Nobody really wants to protect your right or protect your defense. It is about their own interest. Once their interest is protected, it's all good to go. They will accept anything. That system allowed colonial authorities to govern through selected local leaders while containing overall control from above. That was what the British put in place. The system you see them operating in Nigeria today was put in place by the British. The system was put in place by the British. A system which allows colonial authorities to govern through selected local leaders while maintaining overall control from above. That is still the system they are using today to rule Nigeria. That is why they still decide who becomes your president. You go to Chatham House and speak. For you to be a president of Nigeria, you must speak there. And you must get approval from the British. Over time, political structure emerges that many critics argue continued even after independence. That is why some people say the colonial masters left physically, but part of the colonial structure remained politically. You think they have gone? You never got any independence from day one. One thing you will know that shows you that you don't have an independence is that when they were living, instead of giving the power to people who are qualified, they gave power to people who are going to be obedient to them. You and I know that even the British themselves confirm that the southern part of Nigeria are most educated, very brilliant, very industrious. But ask yourself, why is it that when they were living, they left power for the north? Even when the British knew very well that the north, with their own description, they describe the north as lazy. They have nothing, uneducated, lazy, and they're not even ready to be educated. But the south was described by the same British as brilliant, industrious, smart. And yet, when they were living, they chose to hand over the country to those who are lazy and uneducated, and told them that the land belongs to them. And that was why immediately they left. Ahmadu Bello made a broadcast and said Nigeria must be protected as the estate of their father, Ottoman Danfodio, the first jihadist that entered Nigeria, the first foreigner that invaded Nigeria. Today is claiming ownership of the country. And British gave them that notion that they can own Nigeria for as long as the resources continue to flow to them. But I bet you the end is near. It will no longer be business as usual. The end is very, very near. Today, many Africans still debate whether post-colonial government inherited system that encourage division instead of unity. And that is actually true. Once you inherited in Nigeria, does not in any way encourage unity. We are not one people. And the intention of the creation of people who created Nigeria was not to make you united. It was to make you divided. That is why it is necessary for people to go their separate ways now. Because nothing good is going to come out of this contraption. Nothing.